Hi, my name is Adriana and today I will be doing the White Wedding book tag. The day this video gets released, it will be less than a week until my wedding. I'm not freaking out, you're freaking out. All in jest, I am so excited for this wedding. I'm just so happy. I'm very happy to be celebrating my love with my partner. I don't want to get too mushy-gushy, but like, I'm just excited. It's gonna be a great time. I am a little stressed though. There's a lot that goes into planning a wedding, even when you're trying to do a low-key, outdoorsy, don't care wedding. There's been a lot of planning that's gone into this. There's still some stuff that needs to be kind of put together before the day of, and it's a whole thing. So to make my life a little bit easier, we're just gonna do a quick tag video, and I found this tag video by just randomly searching for wedding book tag because all I can think about right now is weddings. So I will post below the kind of first video I saw crop up using this tag, and before I jump into the questions, please consider liking and commenting on this video and subscribing to my channel if you like bookish things. This tag is based on the old adage, something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. I have added a little bit to the tag just based on my own knowledge of things, but that's jumping ahead a little bit. So let's start with something old. I have a perfect one for this. This bad boy. This book is over 100 years old. Isn't that beautiful? I really need to do a reread of this book at some point. I should probably do some research on how to better preserve this book because she is getting a little haggard looking, but oh my gosh, the artwork is just so beautiful. This is a story, I haven't read it in a long time, so please, if you have read this book, correct me if I'm wrong, but it is a story of a group of explorers going to the center of the earth through this hole in the ground in this airship. It's very steampunk, it's very Jules Verne, and they come into contact with all sorts of crazy creatures. The only ones I can really remember are like giant purple giant people. But I don't know, I have fond memories of it. My dad used to read this to me as a child. Very old. Very old. Something new is also coming off the sci-fi shelf. So she is brand new, and it is A History of What Comes Next. So I actually already had a copy of this that I had annotated and read and loved. It was a paperback copy that I picked up on my bachelorette trip in Montana, and I ended up giving that copy to my dad for Christmas. He really likes reading my annotated books, and it was definitely something that he had not read before, and he is mostly enjoying it now. I decided to buy myself a hardback copy to match my hardback of the sequel to make it look nice. So I bought this specifically because it is new and hardback and very new. So something borrowed. I don't think I actually have any borrowed books right now. I mean, any borrowed like physical books. My hold did just come up for Recursion by Blake Crouch, so I will be starting that very, very soon. But yes, I am borrowing Recursion from the library. So something blue. I got a lot of blue options. Give me a minute. So I think for something blue, I'm going to go with something that both holds like sentimental value just for me as a person and also to this channel. Oh, whoops, flashing. Something that holds kind of a sentimental value to this channel as a whole. This book is what caused me to want to start this channel, and that is The Last Odyssey by James Rollins. I won an ARC from a Goodreads giveaway, which is crazy because I never win Goodreads giveaways. So I won this and was obsessed, and because I'm obsessed with James Rollins just as a whole. And so I went to YouTube because I just kind of gotten into watching booktube videos and found that no one was really talking about James Rollins as an author or any of his work. So I decided to take it upon myself to make a review of this book. And it's bad, and that's fine because it's my first video, but I will always have a special place in my heart for this book because I love it. And look, it's got so many book darts in it. I had so many thoughts. I can't wait to reread this in my Sigma Force reread. So there is technically more questions to this tag, but before we get into more questions, there's actually more to this adage, rhyme, whatever you want to call it. And that is something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue, and a sixpence for your shoe. So one of my bridesmaids, I guess, knows about this rhyme, and she gave me a little sixpence coin to put in my shoe for my wedding day. So that was super sweet, and I had no idea that sixpence was part of that adage or rhyme or whatever, but I think it's very sweet and it's kind of cool. And as far as making a tag question out of it, the only thing I could really think of was a book you would rate 6 out of 5 if you could. So a book that is just so beyond your own rating system, you would give it a 6. If you don't like that question, feel free to change it to something else that has to do with sixpence or maybe shoes or something. I don't know. That's just the first thing I thought of, so that's what I'm going with. And for that, it's easy. It's an easy one for me at this point. That is Know My Name by Chanel Miller. I have never experienced a book that is so both well written and heavy hitting and would just... I talked about this book in my biggest surprises and disappointments of 2022, and it had been months since I read it, and just talking about it made me start to cry. So the fact that a book can hold that much emotional value for me months after months of reading it, that's very special. So I would give this book 6 out of 5 stars if I could. The next tag question is white wedding, so just a book with a white cover. For that, I'm gonna go with a book I haven't talked about in a while, and that is A Woman of No Importance. This is a biography on Virginia Hall, one of the American spies in the French Resistance during World War II, and just her incredible life. She led a life. So it was just really cool to be introduced to a new part of history that I really hadn't looked into before. Obviously, being in America, we hear a lot about World War II, but we don't necessarily hear a lot about what the world was actually doing. We just kind of get told, like, America swooped in and saved the day, and that's not really how history was. So it was kind of cool to get another take on Nazi-occupied France and just really get into the mindset of what these spies in the French Resistance were having to deal with and operate in. They were like operating in terrible conditions, no support, no money, this is not James Bond, in case you are wondering. It is very intense, and again, it's a little dry, but the subject matter is just so intriguing. It's very, very cool. So that is all the book questions. It's a fairly short tag, just a little whip through, I guess. So the last part of this is witnesses or guests or whatever you want to call it, and that is to tag some people. So I will go ahead and tag Kayla Ray Reads, Is Bailey Reading, Ruby Read, Nerdy Nat Reads, and I think that'll be good. I think that'll do it. So thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next video.